That's it. The blue bar is there. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of March, 2019. Good evening, chat room. We are here. And on the panel tonight, we have the lovely Stan Smith and the lovely Mr. Thrive and Survive. So good evening, guys.
Hi.
Howdy, everyone.
Hey. So, if we had a little bit of a chat before we came on, Rich has got a lot to say. He wants to talk about some of his experiments and his things that he wants to do and is doing. But right now, to start with, Stan's going to talk, aren't you, Stan?
Yep. I'm going to talk about the moon and how you can tell where you are on this earth using just the sky and the sky alone. It's what sailors used to do years ago before all of this nonsense began. So what we've been doing is tracking the sky using 360 cameras. Some of you would have seen this before, some of you wouldn't. But what I do is I put a 360 camera up and I just leave it to run. I've had one on my roof now for 3 years, just tracking the sky. And what we get are, hang on, I'll share a link. I'll share the links and I'll present as we go. It's going to take me a sec to... Right, we'll go back. So this is 1 day's tracking from my camera. This is one evening.
Does your camera automatically follow the moon?
No,
oh, it's a
360. So
gotcha. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
You see everything. This is the all-seeing eye of 360. So this was just one evening. You see the moon, it's traveling. So that's as it is. When you're watching this stuff back in a VR headset, it is as if you are stood out there watching it. So that's one night's worth of tracking. And here we go, there's 2 nights worth. You see what we're building up here? We're just layering. So as that's moving, we're taking a screenshot basically, and then stacking to create these images. Is everyone following? Can everyone hear me all right?
Yep. Brilliant, Stan. Just muted listening. Yep, please go for it.
So that was the first bit of tracking we done. We were buzzing, couldn't wait to analyze it and have a look, and that's what we see. And then what we done was we let it run for 14 days straight. And we did the same method of watching the videos, analysing it all, screenshots, etc., etc. And this is with some lines now, so we can see the path, what it's doing. But that's 14 days. In 14 days, your moon will go from the the northern scan line, which is the red one, to the southern scan line. This is 14 individual days of track. So
I'm sorry, Stan, does it go between those 2 lines every single month?
Yeah.
I mean, from one extreme to the next?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thanks.
So in 14 days, it'll go down. 14 days, it'll go back up. 14 days-ish.
Yes, roughly 29.
Right. So
14 point.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. And then it's just bouncing between the two. Bing, bong, bong. Whereas the sun takes 6 months to go from this line to this line. But we believe that they're a little bit greater for the sun. It still needs to be checked. We've just been studying the moon, pretty much.
I also noticed the moon looks bigger on some parts of that screen. Are you finding when it's in a certain part of the sky, it's larger?
It's more to do with cloud cover, percentage,
okay,
so on, so forth. It always is the same size-ish. It does vary between times and days, but on the whole, the sun and the moon are always the same size to you throughout the day.
Right.
So this was the 14-day track that we done. So then we were like, huh, wonder if there's a pattern here. So then we started looking elsewhere, and we were particularly trying to get over the equator, you know, southern hemisphere, to see what's going on over there. And luckily enough, we talked to Cosmic Surfer, who lives in Cape Town, South Africa. So we convinced him, after a lot of hassle, because I had to buy a camera, box it back up once it got to me, then ship it over to him because he couldn't import one there, to then him capture the same as what we've captured here. So I know that footage is genuine footage. And that was Cape Town. This is just the first quick. These were all quickly done, so there is little bits in it, but there we go. Is Cape Town. So you see the lines now, they've crossed over.
Right.
You've got the blue at the top, red at the bottom. So you're past what we call the equator. At the equator is where these lines and the sun and the moon come straight out and up and over your head and straight down behind you. That is the true equator. So, yeah, you have to, you know, it's just rolling around us. As we're moving around this earth, it is moving with us.
Hey, Stan, I noticed on the blue line, the moon appears to be more of a convex type of pattern. But when it gets down to the red line, it's more, or actually concave at the top and convex at the bottom.
That's just where it was. This one's like, it wasn't the final. We just blasted this one to see if it was following these lines, and it was. So there is a bit in the final one, which I'll show you in a minute. You can see it's a lot cleaner.
Okay.
But this goes on wherever you look. Dubai, same thing, same lines. All we have to do, Rich, is rotate these lines. And that is it. This is how sailors and everyone used to travel this earth, looking at the sky, just knowing that's how the sky works, that's where we are. They didn't used to look at their phones, didn't have sat-navs.
No maps needed.
No. I said to Cosmic Surfer earlier, I was like, let's just throw everything in the bin and follow the sky.
Me and Rich were talking the other day, and we were saying, because my phone broke, I felt really lost without it. You've got everything on there, sat-nav, you know, it's the whole thing. You need to go back to looking at the sky, do we, Stan?
Yeah, and you're lost without it, yeah. Really, you don't know where you are to begin with it. Because you're lied to on it. I'm not where I'm told I am. No one's where they're told they are, really.
Just to say as well, I see you've got Z Proxy's video up there, and he's in the chat room. So is Cosmic Surfer, Milan, Nimble Horse, Rose Tinted, Midnight Gardener. Those are the ones I can see at the moment.
They're all in there. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Cosmic Surfer, me and him were talking about this stuff still earlier. You know, going through it all the time, questioning yourself, questioning everything. But I'll put this, if I put this in our chat, can you share it?
Yeah, I can.
Look, I'll put it down here. Paste. That's the link to all of them videos. That's in a playlist on Z Proxy's channel.
Okay, I'm just copying it. It's quite amazing, isn't it, Rich?
Absolutely.
It does not. Carry on.
I was just gonna. I'm gonna wait till you get there. I'm dying to ask you a question. You've already covered it a little bit where nobody's where they think they are.
No. This is Hawaii. If you look at this one, it's a lot closer to the equator because the sun and the moon come up and out and over you more because you've rotated the sky because you've moved. That's how it's working. That point there that you were looking at then, if I rewind that one sec, that there would be Polaris. See, everything's going in circles around Polaris. Let me go back to Alaska, where all the stars are. If I can find it. Don't know if it's on there. Oh yeah. See, there's Polaris. That's with a 360 camera. That's a decent camera to capture the stars, but it's all traveling around that one point in the sky. But it doesn't. It's not fixed to that point. If you get me, because as you move, that point moves with you.
What do you mean as you move? Like as you move across the earth?
If I go further north from this location here in
I gotcha. Okay.
Alaska, that pole star will start to rise up in the sky.
Right.
And you will reveal more stars from here. You will see more of these circles. They just get bigger and bigger until you get right underneath that pole star. Whereas when you're under there, you will have your 24-hour sun. Because the sun's doing the same thing. It's just in that band that I was showing you.
Right.
So this is how we can work out where you actually are on this earth, is from the sky. Not using GPS or guessing or any of this stuff. You can actually work it out where you are.
Well, let me ask you the question then, because you've brought it up again. Is your latitude what they told you it was?
No.
Really?
This is something everyone in chat can do in a minute as we pull up pictures. Like Alaska, find the latitude, latitude, sorry, for Alaska. What is it? Because it ain't what you're told it is. And you can do that for all of these. And then you can go to the pictures, because what this is me viewing a picture in a VR headset, a 360 image in a VR headset, and then we're recording what you're looking at.
Hey, Stan, can you go back about 10 seconds? A little bit more and then pause it. Yeah. I have a theory, might be wrong, that there's two different centers of rotation. The stars to the north, let's say north of that red line, they curve dramatically towards, the circle of where the pole is. But if you get down south, you start seeing they flatten out the star trails, and then they start to actually curve the other way. I think if you go maybe a couple seconds more, you'll see it even a little bit better. But to me, and I'm going to prove this using Dave Marsh's software, where he can measure the distances between the stars. If you look at like the stars just above that blue line, they're obviously curving downward, whereas the stars above the red line are curving upward towards the right edge of the page. So to me, those stars are diverging.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't sort of see that though. I picture the Earth is flat, or appears flat, I'm not saying it is 100% flat, but it appears flat. And then the sky is a globe around you. And as you move, it's rolling with you. I don't know what makes it. I don't know anything past that, but that's how it's working. And that's how you can know where you are, because it works wherever you do it on Earth. If anyone's in Argentina listening, or somewhere down below South America, put a camera up, 'cause I want to see. But everything that I've looked at tells me that all these stars are just on shelves, that they're just, it's like a ball of stars around you, and wherever you move, you rotate them.
Can I ask you something, Stan? This might sound a really weird question, but do you trust your P900, the programs on it? I mean, sometimes I remember Owen, he said he put 2 star trail pictures in and it made the whole star trail, but with 2 pictures. I'm just saying, do you trust everything that the cameras are saying?
I trust this.
I mean, about
the 360 stuff, you can't fake it. Like, you can, but this is as it was. You know, this is just a raw video of the sky, and then it is. If you put a headset on and look at this image and go out and then look at your sky, it is what it is.
Thing is, you do yours over land, don't you? If you watch someone like Robert Forsh or Wide Awake, they're filming the sun disappearing on top of the sea. It's the same thing. That's that line where it's meeting.
Yeah, you're just meeting the horizon with that line.
Yeah, they're catching it on the sea, whereas you're showing us very differently that most things on the land.
It works on the sea or the land, this though. It works anywhere, wherever you are, this works.
It's amazing. I love your work, Stan. I was just asking, you know, a lot of people have said, you know, when you look through a P900, it's not really giving you what's really there. You have to zoom in quite a lot to get the same vision that you're getting. Of course, it can zoom in a lot further.
The P900's a totally different ballgame. This is just to see where it was all going and what was going on. Whereas your P900, you zoom in, you get clarity, don't you? You get a nice image to look at.
You know, what I'm trying to say is when you watch Robert Forsh's or Wide Awakes, that is happening. What you're showing us is happening. They're just capturing it on the sea.
No, they're just capturing a little tiny part of it. They're just capturing a bit over here where the sun's going down. Whereas I'm showing you your sky, everything, all around you, everything. This is where it this is where it was set. And back over here is where it rises. If it's on the northern scan line, it'll poke its head up there. So this point here, that exact point there is east. And then over here, there's west. So that's northwest. That's southwest. So the sun, it goes around you.
Yes, has to.
It does. That's why sundials work.
Yeah, it will not work.
The sun goes around the sundial. It doesn't travel past it. Going around, it just travels around the sundial. And it travels around me. It travels around you.
Yeah, to me, it is impossible if we are rotating and the sun is still to get what we see in the sky. Absolutely impossible.
This is why you can't triangulate the sun from 2 locations. It has to be one observer. Because the sun has a distance, because it's there.
And because it's different for everyone and it's following everyone, you can't have 2 separate people doing it.
No, that's it. If I move 10 minutes over there, the moon's going to look different. It'll follow the same path, but if I was filming the moon 5 miles over there and someone filming the moon here, you're not looking at the same moon. It's not in the same spot in the sky that you're looking at, because you've moved, it's moved. It stays at a set distance from us and rotates with us across this earth, and that's how you know where you are. It never passes one to another. There's not a magical handing over. It's just around us. That's the magical part. I don't know what makes it or puts it in the sky or anything, but I know that's what it is, and it's all like a rainbow is. You can't touch it; it moves with you. If you drive along and a rainbow's in front of you, or you're driving, it's moving with you, isn't it? If you watch it out of the window, and that's the same with the moon and the sun and the stars, everything. They all move with us. That's why your shadow's the same when you're walking. It's because it's moving with you. If you were walking away from the sun, the shadow would get longer, wouldn't it?
Yes. Which is how we can tell how the moon was fake, because one of the astronauts moved away from the other one and his shadow got bigger.
So that's what I mean. If you pay attention and observe these things, it's all here looking, staring at us. And this has been going on forever. You just need to look at it and it'll tell you. But that is what is happening. And then if we all looked at these enough, we all get that this is the lines. They're all the same lines. We never alter these lines. All we do is rotate them to the horizon to work out where we are. And that is all we do. It's like an astrolabe. Is it astrolabe? Is that how you say it? Astrolabe? That is
sounds right to me.
That was what they used to use to look at the sky. So they knew where they were. They used to use all the angles to a star, or they used to be tracking something. Then they could work out then where they were. You don't need your smartphones to tell you where you are, because it lies to you. The only thing you can use your smartphone to do is you work out where you are, which we'll do in a minute. If everyone listening, if you've got the app angle, you know, the one that tells you how many degrees you're rotating your phone when you're doing stuff, if you can download an app that does that for the angles, everyone, unless they've got them, and because in a minute you're going to need it, because then we'll show you where you are, or what pictures we've got, or what locations we've got, rather, we can show where they are. So, but yeah, we need more footage, definitely. This needs to be, we need cameras up, 360 cameras up and running all the time. And then you can just pluck a day out of it, pluck a day out here, pluck a day out there, analyze it, see what's going on. And then we can work out where we are on this earth. Because so far, I don't think I've seen any footage. I can't remember if it was like 32 degrees or something, past 32 degrees in latitude north. So there's a big chunk of land up there.
So you're saying, where are you located, Stan? UK?
Yeah, the Isle of Wight. David Icke.
And what is your true latitude?
According to my sky, it's 36 or 37 degrees ish.
And what did they say it is?
40 something.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember. Someone in the chat can look it up. If someone looks up Isle of Wight latitude, that'd be great. Post it in the chat. Cosmic Surfer's in the chat. He knows latitudes and stuff. I can't keep up with it. I just know that it's all rubbish. Just look at the sky.
So are you saying that
get an angle app? Get an angle app. That's all you need. I needed an angle app.
If you get one that you can measure angles on your phone, and then in a minute we'll measure some angles on the screen. If people are on PCs and laptops, they can use their phone to measure the angles.
So you're saying don't use Polaris?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can use any star up there. They're all up there. They're all part of it. You can use anything above your head to track where you are once you know how to do it. But what we've been doing is using the moon. we've been mainly focused on the moon, but you can use anything, like I say, as long as you know how it's going to move and where it's moving to. The easiest one to use is the stars, like Polaris.
But
You can't see Polaris in the daytime, though, can you?
No. But it seems to me when we were setting up our equatorial mounts that Polaris was I'm at the 33 latitude supposedly, but I think Polaris was at 33 in my phone or close to it, but I could be wrong.
Some might be close, but
Okay.
I'm not according to my sky anyway. So this is mine again. This is what we'll look at in a minute, but we'll look at an updated picture. So I'll stop sharing now, and then I'll put that down there, and we'll go this one. So this was the same image. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Is that being shared? Yeah. So this is that same image. Hang on, let me find. Do you want to click off me quick, Karen?
By the way, Stan, I'm showing Isle of Wight at 50.6 degrees north.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We stopped?
Yeah, so I've just put it on me for a moment.
Yeah, 1 sec. I'm trying to find the updated picture because I swear I have one. Is it this? It is this. I think
is it an angle inclination I want? Is that what I'm looking for?
Yeah, you want an app on your phone that just tells you what angle you like. When you hold it to the side, it tells you what angle you're looking at.
A lot of people might have the theodolite apps. They work too.
Right, is this the right one? Does that move? Yeah. Right, so this is what we were looking at just a second ago. Is it working?
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So this is the video of this image we were looking at in the VR. This was the last one we were looking at. This is my one from the Isle of Wight. That's 14 days. So what we do then with this image to work out where we are is we rotate it until we get these to be straight, the scan lines straight. And then what we do is we measure this here angle with your phone. So if you get your phones with your app, have you got an app? And as long as your table's roughly level and your screen's roughly level, if you hold your phone on this line.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get ready. Right, go on then.
If you hold your phone on that line, it's 36, 37, 36. And that's your true latitude, according to the sky.
Right, but I don't really understand with the app. I'm a bit stupid.
Have you got the app up?
Well, I've got something up. I don't know. It's just going 91, 93, 96. It's like a compass thing, and it's got all this degrees on it. So I've got the degrees.
Yeah, now tilt it to the side, so you're just looking at it. So it's like 90 degrees to your table, if you get me.
Yeah, I've got that.
Is it saying 0 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you hold it like that onto that line.
Hold it like that? What do you mean? Hold it like what?
So you can still see the degrees. Are you following? Are you doing it, Rich? Do you know what you...
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm coming up with like 44 to 46 degrees.
You're coming at 44? Maybe I'll measure.
I might not have it perfect. Let me adjust.
No, when I'm on there, it's about 37.
Is it any one of the green lines? Or one of those dash lines in particular?
The dotted line. This is the horizon. Because what we do...
Okay, so any one of those?
Yeah, and where it's flattest here, Rich. See where it's flat?
Yeah.
If you lay your phone along that line where it's flat, that is your angle to the sky. That is.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that is where you truly are.
Oh, 36. Yeah, 36 point.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
30,
I know what you're saying.
37, 36, 37.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 90 degrees is vertical at the equator. So if we if we go to this one here, this is Guam. So that's nearest to the equator we've got, see? So if you measure that one, you're at, I'd say about 74. If you get your phone and do it again on that one. You see? And
Yeah.
this is how we're working it out, Rich. This is what you're like. This is how you're going to build an actual map on where you are.
70. Yeah. 75 is what I'm getting roughly. 70.
Yeah, 74, 75. That's what I'm making it.
Very cool.
You can do this on all of them. Look, we can go through all of these that have been normalized. It's like this is Alaska, right? And we're at 43 degrees. So that's not really adding up, is it? Because I'm past that. Do you get me? Mine's lower. I swear that's Alaska. This is another one from Alaska, but this must be farther north. And this one's the farthest I've seen north. And we're at 27 degrees there. So there's still a whole load more of land and sky beyond this. And that's Alaska. And that must be quite high in Alaska. So yeah, if you check it with your phones, I'm making that 26, 27 degrees latitude.
That's what I got.
So
when Rich is quiet, he's thinking.
So
here's another one. So we can go through them all, Rich. Here's USA. This is the US, mate. So I can't remember exact location, but here you're about 48. You can do it from all of them. And this is how you're going to build a true picture.
Yeah, gotcha.
And using these cameras. And anyone can do this, you know. Everyone and anyone can do this, and it's the truth. It's the budget.
How much are those cameras?
They're less than $100 now.
Okay, what are they called?
That is a Samsung Gear VR. No, it's a Samsung 360 Gear. That's the first generation. They've brought out another one now, which I don't think is as good, but they're water resistant and all sorts.
Do they have to? Do you have to get the headset then to see it?
You don't have to, but I would recommend it.
Okay.
If you don't see, like me showing you this now is another level, but watching it in a VR headset, you know, that's a game changer. That is. It's the way forward. The only way to actually look at this stuff is in a VR headset, because then you get submerged in it. You can then check that it is the same as what you are seeing. And then there's the headsets that we're using.
And what are they called?
They're VR. They're
Just
Oculus. Yeah, Gear VR, Oculus. Like
okay. Nice.
Samsung. But you put your phone into them. Do you get me? You have to have the Samsung phone to work.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, but you can, with the later one, I believe you have to do all your own homework on this because I haven't got one. But I believe you can use like iPhones and whatever.
Okay.
But you should get a VR headset for whatever phone you've got. Go in and make sure it works, because they're not very expensive.
How are those I guess they're battery powered, the camera.
Yeah, I've got mine plugged in though, because it's been out there 3 years.
Okay.
So I've just left it plugged in. It's been fine.
My problem where I live now, I've got tons of obstructions of the sky.
It shouldn't matter if you get hang on, if you get like trees here and stuff, it doesn't really matter, Rich, because you'll see what you want to see.
Okay.
You know, as long as you get a glimpse of it every now and then, you can see where you are. You can make head or tail of it.
Yeah, I can probably see the moon 6 to 8 hours from the roof.
So you'll be fine then. You don't need a very long track. We've done it before with very little. Let me like this one. That's a couple of hours.
And that's enough?
And that's enough to work out, you know, once you get, Z's really good now at putting these lines on, and he'll know, because with a 360 image, you know, once you line it all up, you can know that's east, that's west, that's north, south. You know it all, because you've got the 360 image. You're not just guessing at what way you were looking. You can actually work it all out just using the sky. This ain't no guessing game. This is proper, you know.
I know this is going to be a silly question, but can you zoom in on the moon and see craters?
Not with a 360. That's why I used the P900 in hand with the 360. So from this is all time stamped and dated. The 360 stuff is. So at any time we can get to a point in the video, say that is at that time on that day. And then if I've been out in the garden recording the moon with the P900 as well, you can then overlay that image onto that if you wanted, or have each one of these. What we were hoping would be like, you click on it and it's a P900 video of that point in time. You know, if you're out there filming, you click on that one, you click on that, and they're all little videos to match what you're looking at. Does that follow?
Yep.
But yeah, that's way down the line. Let's just get people putting up cameras first and get everyone having a look at this stuff in VR. Because until they do, you may as well, I don't know, may as well be watching TV. You ain't going to get no, like we were out there day in, day out, looking at this bloody thing, trying to work out what the hell is going on, you know?
Yeah.
Talking about it, like hours worth of conversations, chatting about this, what is going on. And then all of a sudden it was like a light switch. As soon as you had this 360 camera, it was like, oh, now you can have a proper look at it. What now? Look. You know, now let's put some lines on this and actually see if there's patterns. And lo and behold, there is. So
and where was this image taken from?
This is Guam, I believe.
Okay.
So you can do the same for this, which is they're closer to the equator, see, because you've got the they're about 74.
Yeah, I can just eyeball see that's gonna be high.
Yeah, so you know, when you're right on the equator, that's this here line, your horizon line. When you normalize the video, the picture, that will be straight up. That will be 90 degrees. That is your true equator, or what we call the equator. But yeah, this is how the sky moves. It used to be common knowledge. There's old VR stuff, you know. Z's been posting me stuff. I've got a little bit I can share it. Click off this 1 sec and move a bit of stuff. Gonna have to do a little bit of juggling. Bear with me 1 sec.
Do you want me to
So what you're doing is,
I've moved the. Oh, sorry, Rich. Carry on.
it's okay. I came up with like 70. Just real quick, when you took it off in the high 70s with that picture.
Yeah.
So what you do then is subtract that from 90 to see how far you are from the equator.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, no, you're 72 degrees, so you're 18 degrees off the equator, aren't you?
We're 33 here.
But are you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You could now check it because you know how to check it.
Right.
So you could put your camera up, create that image, normalize it, check it with your phone.
You know, I'm curious to see if these numbers are 15% off of what they're telling us. Do you remember the data that was downloaded, Karen, that a person that used to be on your channel, he said there was 15% more data that Google Earth was hiding, north and south.
Easy.
Oh, what series? Series?
Yes.
Right.
I think he said he believed it was 15% more.
Well, I've just shown you all we've seen is to 27 degrees. And that's Alaska. That's meant to be like, you know, you can't go a lot more than that, but yeah, you can. You know, these are old 360 pictures, you know, ideas, machines. So everyone's done this before. This ain't nothing new. This is how all the ancients worked it out, I guess, with their 360 stuff. You know, we've gone full circle. Nothing new under the sun. There really ain't. There's a model. Old Japanese model was 360 model.
Amazing how they hit all of this.
There's Alex Jones the other day on the Joe Rogan show. Did any of you lot watch that?
No.
I didn't. I don't like him, so I don't watch it. I mean,
No.
Joe Rogan, I don't like.
Oh, I watched it, and Alex Jones brought up the VR back in like 1920s, the VR machine with wind and everything. Like it was a proper. I did have a picture, but I can't find it. But there was, you know, a machine you used to sit into, and it submerge your whole body into the video, and it's like a VR machine.
Wow.
And that's 1920s. So this stuff ain't new. You know, the idea of it ain't new. I reckon they've all done this before. You know, we've seen it all before. But this shows you, there's your ball. As you're rotating, it's moving. You have to Google it, basically. Have a look for yourself and just look through all these old images. There's loads of it. So he's been sending it to me for weeks now.
Yeah, there's loads of it for now you can search, but it'll be gone.
Yeah, but well, that's why we keep downloading what we find.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of it. But I couldn't find what I downloaded. I've got so much of it. It's just lost. But yeah, this is what's going on. So the sky goes around us. It's a bit of a pill to swallow there, Rich. I can see you like, That's what I was like, mate. I was like, wow, that's something new I didn't expect. Because I didn't expect that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we don't expect that we're seeing, isn't it? All we have to do is look and get the right equipment.
It's like Crow says, isn't it? You got to get rid of all these beliefs.
Yeah, you have to shed them all and just start like you're an empty slate and just look at it and say, wow. And when you do see it, it's like, this doesn't make sense for what they're telling us whatsoever. Nothing does.
No, it's like I was saying to Rolf earlier. All you really, truly know is what you know.
Yeah, which you can prove.
Yeah, and what you've experienced in your life. Everything else is just hearsay. Really. you know?
Yeah, and probably false.
Yeah, everything. So if you start on that, you know, start at that point that everything's rubbish, you don't know anything, throw it all away. So there's no beliefs, you're not thinking this, you're not thinking that. And then you start afresh with a fresh mind and a fresh slate. You can work it all out from there. It's like what I've shown you tonight. You can plot them locations now. Like, we know the locations of the cameras, so you can now plot them on a map, start to plot that out. Granted, you don't know exactly how the sky moves, but you'll start to understand it within time, because if you had a string of cameras set out 10 kilometers apart, you could then see how the sky moves over 10 kilometers. Or better yet, if you put a camera on a train and let that train do its path, you can then analyze all of that and see how it moves throughout the movement of the train. So you can then see how far it rotates, the sky moves per 10 kilometers or kilometer or whatever, because it moves. As you move, the sky is moving with you. And the more you move, the more it moves. It's always there with you.
Yeah.
It's like the Bible. It says in the Bible, don't it? I'm not a real religious man, like, you know, anything like that, but there's some truth in that book. And when it says made the heaven and the earth, well, that's the sky and the earth. They're two separate things, and the thing that joins it is us.
Yeah, we really do occupy both.
Yeah, we are the only thing tying the sky to the ground. Without us, there is no tie in there. If you all of a sudden woke up in a different spot, your sky's rotated completely different. You haven't seen it rotate. It's just done it for you. Know, you open your eyes, bang, it's moved. If you watch it the whole way, it'd rotate. You know, without us, it doesn't. Do you get what I'm saying there? Is that without you, it's not tied to the ground, basically.
Yeah.
That's where we go wrong with beliefs. People with their beliefs, and that's where they keep going wrong, going round and round in circles. Right. If I say to you now, after you've seen everything I've just shown you, and this is for everyone in chat as well, this is a question for everyone. How long does it take for the sun to travel around the earth? Does anyone want to answer that? Anyone in the chat? I'm not seeing anyone.
You can answer that one, Stan.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know if you can answer it or you can't?
I can't. I've not seen a scrap of proof that shows any evidence of any of it. Like how long it takes.
Yeah, I haven't proved sooner.
The sun doesn't go around the earth. It goes around us in 24 hours. Doesn't go around the earth in 24 hours. It goes around us. In this location where I'm stood now, it will take 24 hours for the sun to go around me, not the earth. I've not seen one video of the sun going around the earth that isn't CGI.
Yeah, and you never will.
It's because it's a belief. It's because it's been smashed into you from birth that it takes 24 hours for the sun to go around the earth. But it doesn't. Can't find any proof of that at all. It's not 23 point something hours. It's 24 hours to go around us.
Yes, perfectly.
Not the earth.
Well, that goes down to what I always believe now is that we're looking at an image of the sun, or the sun is a local image, a reflection.
It's just this, like you say, it's a hologram. Like, you know, there is no rock you are looking at. It is something of nothing. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's
like
why
you said earlier,
you can't do nothing with what's up there. Unless you're one person observer, you can triangulate it yourself, and that is it. Two people cannot triangulate something that's moving. You're trying to triangulate something that's moved location. If you move 10 miles down the road, it moves 10 miles down the road. And that's, like I say, that's where I watch all these videos and stuff, and it's like, it's where everyone's getting confused because they ain't really thought about it. They've just taken that as what they've been told to be true, and it ain't. Think about this. Concorde used to land in America from the UK, and they would be ahead of the sun, wouldn't they? They'd gain time.
I don't remember how fast they did it, but I would think they would.
Yeah, so how can you gain time on something that's traveling 1,000 miles an hour? Because if the sun was going around the earth and the earth's claimed to be such and such a size and blah, 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 it moves 1,000 miles an hour roughly, according to land speed. It doesn't. If it moved 1,000 miles an hour, it'd be going across our skies pretty quick, wouldn't it?
Yep.
It'd be like a rocket. There goes the sun again. That was a nice day, wasn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Did you get a tan? I don't know. I have to check when I get home. It's dark now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of beliefs and there's a lot of people going wrong in beliefs. And that's where these cameras just prove it all wrong. You know? It's not perspective. It's not a globe. It's something else. It's magical. It's crazy. It just wrecks your brain once you start thinking about it. Because it's like, how can that be doing that? But it is. So there's like your belief, you know, there's one about the sun, and there's, again, I can't find any continuous footage from the ground to above 50 kilometers in height. Up in altitude, 50 kilometers. Can't find it. It's like it's unobtainium. I want to see it. Where is it? It's not there. People go, they send you straight to the ISS footage. Hey, here, and then it's like, you're missing the point, mate. It's from the ground, starting at ground level, continuous, unbroken, raw footage above 50 kilometers. Where is it? Doesn't exist. And everyone says, oh, you can go so high, this, that. Can't find it. If you could, where's the proof? Like, again, all I've seen is CGI stuff. That's it.
Yeah. Everything from satellites to simulations of how everything works.
Yeah. It's all just cartoons. May as well flick on Nickelodeon or whatever it is nowadays.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
You get more sense out of that than watching NASA stuff. NASA's just another bloody TV show. It's all TV shows. Just designed to waste your time when you should be doing something more important. Really. Best thing everyone can do with a telly is just pull the wires out the back of it and just watch real stuff from it. You know, use it as a screen to broadcast real stuff on, or use it as a screen for your laptop just to work stuff out and stop wasting time.
Yeah, and money. I got rid of cable years ago, and happy I did.
Well, in the UK, you have to pay a TV license, don't you? Yeah, you have to have a license to have a TV, mate. If you're watching
Unbelievable.
TV, yeah.
Yeah, you do. And they want every household to have a license.
And you can't unsubscribe either. Well, you can, but then you just get salesman at your door every 10 minutes going, you haven't got a TV license. Are you watching TV in there? And it's like, no. Well, can I come in and have a look? No.
Unbelievable. You're kidding me.
No, seriously. Then they come back with a warrant and shit and police and try and get in. And it's like, I said to my mate about it because he's just saying, he goes, oh, I ain't paying it. I don't want a TV license. I've told him. And they keep like sending him letters. And I said, what are you going to do when they do turn up then, mate? He goes, I'm just going to throw the fucking telly out the window to them and say, there's my telly, inspect it. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, I don't use it anyway. It's best for you, like, you know, it's just I don't know. The world's got mad with all these silly rules.
I'm hoping that all these different things people are waking up to, including flat earth and everything else, will eventually lead to enough people being awake to say, we don't need these governments. Why are we giving them permission to rule us and to take our land and to tax us and to tell us what we can and can't do?
They're playing a game on our backs. And all we've got to do is stand up. All together is just stand up, take the board away and go, no more. And that is as simple as it is. There don't have to be no war, no nothings, no protest. You just go, no. No more. I'm not a baby. I'm an adult and I am capable of looking after myself in this world. You know?
Absolutely. But people don't believe that yet. Oh, no, we need government. It's like, no, you don't.
You don't.
It's like you need a cruel father to beat you. You know, that's really what it is. And to threaten to take away stuff if you don't do it, even when you're an adult.
It's just all wrong. The whole lot, the whole system, it's all wrong. Like I say, you're lied to about everything. Where you are, like everyone thinks they know where they are. Well, you don't. Not according to what I've been doing. You know? I thought I knew where I was. But then, according to my sky, I'm off for that. I'm not there. But even then, where are you? What is this place? You know?
Yeah.
That's the biggest question of all. What is this place? Again, wild theories and beliefs and all sorts of stuff, but no hard proof, is there?
It's crazy stuff. I just wish there was, I don't know if I'll still be alive long enough to see it happen, but it will happen where they get rid of these damn governments.
Oh, you can see it now with the France stuff that was going on, and you've only got to look around. The lips of, like, you know, flat Earth's on the lips of everyone. Everyone's like, what? Flat Earth? Flat Earth? Even if they're saying, what? Flat Earth? They're still saying flat Earth. It's still there in their head like a little seed that's planted. They just got to wait for it to sprout. It's like whoever's on that Joe Rogan show, his psychic, I can't remember his name. Look, I can't think of his name. But the other guy on there, he said, it's something you can't be convinced of, man. You got to find that stuff on your own. And you have. You have to find your own proof in your head to know what you know is
That's
true.
right. That's right. Once you know it, once you get it yourself, you know.
You'll
know
never
that
be
you
told.
know. And it doesn't matter. Nobody can talk you out of it.
No. That's like when people try and tell me stuff, I just crease up, mate. I'm like, whatever. That's no, it's not a ball, whatever. Just don't waste my time, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I say. When you know something, you know it. And when you know, you don't. I don't know what creates the moon. I don't know what creates the stars. But I know they're up there and I know how they moving around and when they move, they're rotating.
I went to work today and it's the physicist guy today, and I was trying, and he just starts going ridiculous and that straight away. So I just find it very difficult talking to him, but he just doesn't see it. All he wants to talk about is gravity.
Yeah, but you should show him this and say, well, there's where the Isle of Wight really is. Go and prove it wrong. Go and actually
Yeah,
prove
but
that data.
he's not like that. It's just ridiculous. No, it's wrong. You know, I can see a ship going over the horizon, and we just go on like that, and I'm just
That's
like,
just you're blind, mate, and you can't see as far as you think you can see.
oh,
You know,
It's
you have to
amazing.
zoom
It's
in
amazing
on-
how no professional knows perspective. Not a one.
No. So your eyes, they don't zoom in. What you see is what you get. You can only zoom in with a scope or a camera, you know?
Yeah.
So I just, you know, I'll sit here and sometimes just feel like bashing my head against the wall. So I'm like, how would you tell everyone about this? Like I said to you then, that's the first time I've ever said about the sun not going around the earth, it goes around us live. I've said it plenty of times to everyone that I know and chatting offline, but never come out openly and said, I've not seen no proof of that, which I haven't. If anyone can find any proof, I would love to see it. I'd love, you know, I would love to know what that sun and that moon's actual, how, you know, how it's, because I know it's moving with me, but what's the time frame? You know, how long does it take to travel 100 miles, like to make it rotate back
how
again?
does it work, Stan? If, say, for me, so we'll pick the summer because there's longer hours. Like it could be up 16 hours from beginning to end.
How does it work? Well, I'll show you.
No. What I mean is, how does it work in the? I'm trying to say, yeah, you explain it. It's 16 hours. It's going across my sky. 16 hours. It's going across your sky. And then it's a bit similar to Rich. You'll get in this, well, especially some of the longer nights, same sort of thing. And then for someone in Holland, it's doing the same thing. So how do you explain what it is? It's doing it for everyone.
The reason why you get a longer time in the summer is because this is east and that's west there, but you're getting more of the sun above the horizon for a longer period. So in the summertime, it appears for me in the north to arise northeast, which is this, because there's east. This is traveling round to north. North's there in the center, south's the center here. So you're splitting this into parts, you know. So west, south, east, and then the edge here where this would join up because this is a 360 image. So you're standing in the middle and it wraps around you. There's your north again on this side, you know, north. And then it rises northeast. It's in the sky longer, goes around me, comes down, rises, sets northwest. Whereas in the winter, you look, we've got a very short amount of time that sun is above the horizon. Because the sun goes from here to here. So summertime, it's up the top. Winter time, summer solstice, winter solstice. There ain't no tropic of this and tropic of that. The tropics of this and the tropics of that are when the sun is on the northern scan line or the southern scan line and they are 90 degrees above you. That is when you are truly on the tropics. The sun doesn't travel around the tropics because it doesn't go around the earth, it goes around us. But that is what they are calling the tropics. Do you get me? So that's what. So I've answered your longer summer, shorter winter, tropics, and all that. And like I say, this all. Hang on one sec. This all fits.
Now, how did you get those lines like that to become level?
Like that?
Yeah. Is that a function of the software that comes with the camera?
No, this is all aftermarket. This is all in-house stuff that Z Proxy's done. But that's rotating. All we're doing is rotating that image until the lines become straight. And then we're calling that normalized.
Okay.
But basically,
So you'd have to know how to do that to get your your
Yeah,
latitude.
but you can check your angles from here, these lines.
Okay.
You don't have to actually rotate it to that to get this, measure this line. You can measure that line. Because in reality, you wouldn't squint your eyes and all of a sudden everything twists like this and you're like, right, we're at about 40 degrees or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You'd measure the, I'll roll for like this, the arc, which is 1/2 of the circle, which you can't see. And the reason why I say it's a circle is because I have no solid bang proof of it. But if you look at these images, you've got circles, yeah, going around Polaris. Everything's going round in circles. That's the only thing that don't. It does a little bit, but nothing worth writing home about. Whereas everything else is going in circles, all the way to the south point where but you haven't got a pole star there. But there again, it's all going in circles. And then I'm losing my train of thought here. But what I'm saying is when you get to the North Pole, when I'm saying the North Pole is when this point is above your head.
Right.
That pole star, that is, for me, the true North Pole. That is when you will see the 24-hour sun, because you're seeing the circles here. So when you keep going and this rotates back and you see more of this, this drops down, drops down, drops down, this will come up because this line here will be on the horizon.
Right.
So when you're at the north, you should have 6 months daylight, 6 months dark.
So if I was going to use this picture to find out my latitude, I would use, to me, like the yellow line that's right in between that house.
Yeah, you use the yellow line, not the red or the.
Okay. Now, would I pick the point like right where the dark part of that house is? That looks like it's the most level to me.
Yeah, that's what you do. Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you know what you can work out now where you are from an image. And you don't need the you don't even need to have the lines on there. You can just look at the stars, pick out your moon or whatever you're following and do it on there. So yeah, you can, now everyone should be able to work out where they are, really, in the sky. And I've said, the sun, I've not seen any proof of the sun going around the earth. If anyone can find it, like I say, I would love to see it, because that would tell you how the sky is moving. It'd answer a few more questions and save me a bit of work, you know what I mean? But I think the only way to really tell how it moves over distance is with either a train or something that the path for sure. See, I sort of thought with trains, they're on tracks. It's a bit hard to deviate from a track, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you put a camera on the train and let it run across land, as long as you know that land is correct, you can then work out on a east to west how it moves on the longitude, and then when you send a train north to south, you can work out how it works on the latitude, how many miles to degree of sky rotation, and then you can build a picture of this place that we're living in. Like I say, there must be a huge chunk of land or something to the north and an even bigger chunk of land to the south. Because the farthest cosmic surfer is Cape Town. Cape Town, South Africa. If you're looking at a globe, what we're told where we live, that's down the bottom. That's on the underside. That's quite close. You can't go a lot more round, and they say that there's nothing there.
That's right.
But when you actually work out where he is, then he's not even, well, he's just slightly past halfway from the equator to the pole.
Yeah, if they're hiding land, it's north-south, not east-west.
Yeah, definitely. 100% agree. But are they? There could be some east-west. Like I say, I don't know how the sun's moving around this Earth, or it's not. So I don't know how the motion, let's say the flow of energy or whatever it is that is creating all of that, which is when we move, it rotates with us. I need to see how that happens before we can accurately plot each land mass onto a map. And there is a wobble in the sky as well with the moon and the sun, which Antonio's talking about. There's a lot of people talking about this, and I've observed it with the P900. I think to myself, oh yeah, it's going to be there in a minute, solar noon. You know, highest point in the sky, it's going to go straight across my camera. So I'll go out there, I'll set up, and it's not doing it. It's still rising. And I'm like, huh. So there is movement there in them tracks, but it doesn't seem like Polaris and the stars move. It just seems like it's the sun and the moon that are moving. Hence the reason as well we get tricked with daylight savings. Because the sun, like for me now, lunar noon is more to my west. It's just slightly to my west from where it was. So there is a movement there. It's not been fully looked at and what I would call analysed properly, i.e. with a 360 camera over a long period of time to see where it's actually moving, how much. But there is something that I have noticed just with my camera. Yeah.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I do believe when we caught the lunar jump that the meridian crossing appeared to me, and I didn't verify, but it appeared to me that it was slightly east of where it should have been.
So that's what I say. There is something going on there, but it's not been. I can't say to you, this is what's going on there. I can say there's something going on there. you know. And that's why I say they move in clocks, because otherwise you'd notice, you'd go out there and go, oh look, what the hell? It's darker. Like, you know, it's getting lighter in the mornings, yet it's darker, it's staying dark at the same time. You know what I mean? There'd be something noticeable. So they just change everything, and then everyone's like, oh bollocks, it's dark now when I get up, or it's light, or you know, I will get up an hour earlier, and you're thinking more about that than what's actually going on.
Yeah, I'm lucky to live in a state where we don't change the clocks at all.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have to, because for you then, you must be closer to the equator, because I think you notice it more the further north you go or the farther south you go. Because like here in England, I've just shown you where I am. I'm a lot, if you're claiming where you are is right, I'm a bit further north. So they've, you know what I mean? They've had to do it because otherwise I'd spot it. Because they're claiming I'm at what, 52 or something? Do you say? I can't remember. What
50.6, I think.
Yeah, which I'm not. So I would notice it. So they changed the clocks, so you don't see this wobble. But like I said, that's just me speaking my mind on that. I haven't got no pictures to go, there's your wobble. No. I'd love to say there's your wobble and go, I've got all that tied up as well, and you know.
Well, there are definitely strange things with the moon, that is for sure.
Oh mate, the moon's just, that's why everyone called lunatics, isn't it? Because you start staring at the moon, the old lunar, you turn into a lunatic. It just starts wrecking your brain. The more you look at it, the more questions arise from it.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
But yeah, I've spoke about everything I wanted to speak about anyway, Rich. So
all right, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always amazing listening to Stan, and I know he works really hard, and nearly every day there's footage going on his channel. So
You mean
everybody,
no, wait a minute. You mean he's not just into it for the money, Karen?
he's in it because he can't help it. He can't. He's filming every day, and I realised through Stan's footage on that 360. I mean, it's not that I didn't think the clouds were fairly low, but because he's got it on his roof, I realised how low the clouds were because you can see them on his camera.
But if you watch that footage back, it's all on my YouTube. You get your VR headset and you're basically on my roof. You can sit there on my roof for however many hours you want, just looking at time lapse of the sky, just the sun going around you, the moon going around you. You know, you can see it. It doesn't go around the earth, it goes around us. That's why sundials work. They wouldn't work if it went around the earth, would they? You know, sundial would not work. It'd be like, it just, like I say, the sun and the moon and everything would come past you at such a rate. It'd be like,
in reality, there's so much to understand about living here, because even then I just thought, oh, he's right with the shadow. The shadow goes with you. Oh my goodness, Dan, you've taught me some things today.
it does. Wherever you go, your shadow don't stretch out. Whereas if you're walking away from the light, it stretches out, doesn't it?
We should know these things, shouldn't we?
If you're following cars down the road in your car, look at the shadow on the ground. You know, it doesn't start rotating. You're not. It's just there because the sun's just like your personal spotlight on us that as we go around, it's on us. That's why when you go to the beach, you get a straight line to your feet.
Yep, everybody does. Somebody 10 feet down the
If you look down the park, like down the beach, to the bloke stood there observing the same phenomena for him. He has, like, to you, he hasn't got a line to his feet. It's to you. There's not a million lines coming off of that sun to everyone's feet that you observe. It's they observe it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those balloon footages that show the hotspot prove that too.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. You look at the sky, right? How do you get red under the clouds? It's because the sun comes up around us, comes up and out, and lights up underneath the clouds before it goes up above the clouds. You get me?
It's amazing stuff. Yeah.
It's not a perspective thing, because you would never get that with perspective, would you? If the sun was traveling overhead, it wouldn't go under the clouds.
At 93 million miles away, you'd never have a hotspot, a local hotspot that we see in those balloon footages. So if you launch a balloon in the UK and it's in the middle of the day, and then someone in Central Europe does the same thing, it's just a couple of hours at either side of noon, both of them will have a local hotspot in their video.
Yeah, because it's to them. That's what I'll say as well. If you send a balloon up from the ground up, the sun just stays with that balloon. Like, you see it all the way up. It doesn't all of a sudden pass over to the upper sun. It's just
right.
the sun. It just becomes clearer from what I've seen. Like, a lot more, it looks almost smaller, and just, you're not looking at it through what we're looking at it through down here. We're looking at it through something else up there, another substance, like another gassy, watery substance. I don't know. We're living in, like, air's like water, isn't it? Really?
Yes, they're both fluids. Yeah,
if you treat it the same as, think of air more as water, it makes more sense.
Yes.
So it's just, we're in it and we don't realize it. But, yeah,
well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Stan. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic work.
No, cheers, man. But yeah, it's all going on above us, mate. You just got to look up, observe it. Sorry. Take it in.
I agree. Yep.
See what's actually going on. Forget the beliefs. They are just beliefs.
Well, with what I'm going to show, if I didn't have the belief I had, I would have caught something even better. But I know better now.
It's always a learning curve being a flat earther, isn't it? There's always something new to learn and understand.
And most of us, contrary to what most people want to believe, know a lot more than even physicists and things like that. It's just, I saw that allegedly Dave thing against that physicist, that debate. And the physicist was literally lost by 20 minutes into the debate. Had no clue how to react, had no idea the science with what Dave was talking about. And we look at it as simple stuff. He had no idea what perspective was, none.
Well, it's like what I've shown you tonight. Simple stuff. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
It's £100 camera.
Stan, you say that, but there aren't that many people doing it. At the moment, you're one of the, not maybe the only one, but there's not many, is there?
As far as I'm aware.
That's because I don't know, you're a clever bloke.
It's not that. I was just curious. I was a curious bloke. But as far as I'm aware, me, Z Proxy, and Cosmic Surfer are the only 3 people to track the moon at the same time across the world. We're the only 3 to do it together in sync. I've not seen anyone else replicate it since, and that was 2 years back. And everything we've done sort of not gone anywhere. No one's really gone, that's really cool, man. I want to be a part of that, Let's do something about that and make it happen. Because that's what it really needs, is something to like really shove it and get this word out there, because this is truth, man. People, the sky's the truth, and that's what you need. It goes on every night, and they can't fake that because it's above your head. It can't be faked. And it's been going on since time, because you think of the pyramids, there's still stars that line up with it. All the stars still line up with them pyramids today. Yeah. So that tells you it ain't moved on that location. When you were stood at them locations at the pyramids, in the right spot at the right, them stars still going through them windows. So they don't move.
Absolutely. So much for the trillions of miles we've traveled since they were built.
Exactly.
Well, I think the problem is most people are still in, like you said, the TV mentality. They'd rather just watch and then participate right now. But I think that's slowly, hopefully, starting to change. I really do see more people doing experiments lately, or saying they're going to.
It needs more. Even if you get it wrong, man, who cares? Just go out there, do something. Just what else you doing? Everyone's just. You're only here for a certain amount of time. You've got a certain amount of time to figure out what you can figure out and try and make this a better place to leave to the next one. Not a worse place,
Exactly. Well, everybody, everything that ever has come up, there's always the pioneers, the first people that did it. And like I said, I think everybody that's in it right now is a pioneer, and it eventually people will thank us, however many years from now it is, when they break the shackles of government and oppression off of them, because this is what it will eventually lead to, because everybody will know they've been lied to, and they get absolutely zero good out of the governments that they're willfully paying taxes to.
Yeah, if you didn't pay all the taxes to all these people and invested your time, it's like now, I used to work every day. I used to get up, go to work. It was like the norm, isn't it? You're brought into this world thinking that is normal. You get up, you go to school when you're little, when you leave school, you get a job.
Yeah, right? And then you feed the system the rest of the time.
Yeah, and that is all you are, is a feeder to the beast. So what your best bet is to do is to think, sod that. So like now, I work to my tax limit. In the UK, it's £10,000-ish or whatever it is. So I get roughly to my limit. I don't buy much like I used to all the time, Yeah. I'm not out doing stuff, driving or partying or whatever. Just limited my cash. So then I get up to my tax limit and then I call that it. And then I have the rest of the year to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And think. You don't get time to think when you're working.
Nope.
Because you work,
Absolutely.
you come home, you sit down, and you go to sleep.
Yep. They had a long time to figure out their perfect system.
Yeah, so for 30 years of my life, I just did what everyone else did because I thought that's what you did. And then for some unknown reason, one day I stumbled over a video and it changed my life, you know?
Yeah.
And there's that, you know?
Yeah, that's what makes it worth it to me. The person that stumbles over a video and changes them.
Well, like when I first started, Rich, I used to watch all of your stuff. I was like, new video, Mr. Thrive, here we go, click. Sit there, be like, yeah, this is cool, liking it all. And then before you know it, you're like, it's like I said to you earlier, you can't be told this sort of stuff. You need to find it in you for yourself, you know?
Yes.
You will never be told the earth is flat.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between I believe and I know.
Yeah. It's beliefs. And everyone's still believing. You need to know. As I say, just even if you go out and zoom into a boat with your camera, if that's enough belief for you, you know, that it hasn't gone over the horizon. You won't know if that's actually true until you do it for yourself, will you?
That's true.
So everyone should do at least one thing, like go and hold a level up to the horizon. I've done that before. Put a level in a tripod, you know, a big 6-foot carpenter's level.
Right.
And then just duck your head down and go, well, yeah, there's no curve there. You know, you could do it over miles and there's no curve if you're near a beach, you know.
Yeah.
There's loads of things you can do. I've done so many things, and then the sky was just the final bang. There you go. You can't have that on a globe because the sky is the globe.
Yeah, I've told the story many times. When I first started, it was like, what the hell is the matter with you? Go out there and just look at the horizon. You'll see it curves. And then it changed to you have to go down to the beach because you have to see a bigger part of the horizon. Then you had to be on a hill at the beach.
Yeah,
then you had to be right. And now you got to be at 50,000 feet.
And then if you ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, it's flat, man. You know, you could go up however high and it's flat. It's like, it's because it's probably flat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, unless you've got a really good imagination, it's, you know, if you're just looking out, it's flat to the eye. But yeah, well, I say, no, I think that's the first time I've heard anyone say that as well, that the sun don't go around the earth. Have you heard anyone else saying that?
Yeah, I think I realised that in a sense because of this perspective thing and looking at your videos.
Goes around us, not the earth.
What's the midnight sun then?
That's when you're far enough to the equator, to the north, that you pull the scan line out of the horizon. Here in the UK, we almost get a midnight sun, don't we? I'm sat there and it's light on the horizon in the summer on the solstice.
Yeah, it's really hard, Rich, because we have such a you don't, like you say, Rich, in Arizona, but here in the winter, it's like we get, 5-6 hours of light. In the summer, it's 18, and we get like
that's more than 5 or 6. I don't know how many.
6, 7. All right, I was being a bit drastic there. It feels like 3 in the winter. But in the summer, when the light goes, it's well north. You can still see the light in the north, just tipping out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. It's because it's going around us, so it's going on round to the north to complete its circle before it comes back up again. If you listen to Pink Floyd, Time, in that song, they say it. They say that the sun's racing around to come up behind you again. It doesn't say racing around the earth. They say racing around to come up behind you. They all know. You know,
Yes.
they all know it. And they just laugh at us.
Let me show you, Stan, if I can. Can I share my screen, Karen?
Of course you can. You take the link out, don't you?
Yeah, and you know what? It keeps coming back.
I'll tell you
Like
what.
if
I just
no, it's gone. Oh, okay. I just want to show him what I'm doing because this started with the moon actually, and it didn't line up right with where the moon was setting and things like that. I talked about that last time I was on here. Remember, Karen?
Yeah. Oh, you're not sharing yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's okay to do it.
Go on then. I've done it now. I'm on Stan. You showed the link, Rich.
It's not on my screen. Are you serious?
Oh, right. Okay. So that link's not on there. I can see me on there with the Hangout.
Yeah, it says search Google or type a URL in at least that's what mine shows.
Okay. So
and you know what?
Yeah,
and
no,
Karen,
that's what I see as well. Yeah, cool.
yeah, even if it pops in, Karen, don't freak out because my bar isn't very wide because I've got all these little things to the right of the address bar, and you can't see the whole thing, even if it pops in there. There's several characters missing at the end.
Okay,
so
then.
just to let you know, if it comes back, because I'm going to click off of here, and usually when I come back, it comes back again. Just know it's not the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me start here. You can see that this is SunCalc, and this is I'll put it on Great Britain. And what date is? I think I picked a day in May. Yeah, May 30th. How can the sun be down here? Okay. Down here, here's the equator. How can the sun be down here? And yet, oh, I really screwed this up. Let me get back to the UK. How can you have the sun be to your north if we are turning? That's the key right there. If we are turning, it doesn't work. Come on now. Ah, look, this one shows the 360.
Yeah,
You go
it does.
far
That's
enough
what I
north,
say to you. You see, you do see it. You see it on all this. They don't lie to you. They show you it in plain sight. It's just no one really pays too much attention to what
Exactly. Well, what I was looking at was the moon didn't make sense where it was pointing to after the sunset. It looked like it was the sun was too far to the left. No, that's a little too far zoomed in. Oh, you know what? I should have left it there. That was perfect because it was showing it going around a person. Anyway, it's on the UK, and here we have 5 a.m. And where's the sun to you? It's where is it here? At 52 degrees. So
Yeah,
as the
that's
day
right.
goes,
That's what I observe with my footage. You know.
yes, and then what happens here? You get due east at 8 p.m. after the sun's been up for 4 hours or whatever. Then it goes due south, not even at noon, it's past noon. And then it sets in the west. And this is what I was looking at. The moon at this time would set northwest. I mean, or actually the moon at this time is not pointing at the sun, or it doesn't look, or it actually does.
You know why that is, though, Rich?
Yeah, I know why.
Because it's on the lower scan line and the sun's on the higher scan line.
Exactly.
So there's your moon. You're not getting your moon is down lower. You're observing it from this location rise southeast at that point, and then set southwest.
Exactly. It doesn't right.
Yeah.
So it's not really pointing at the sun. It was what I was thinking anyway. Whether it is or not doesn't matter. Because
I think it does. They seem when you have a full moon, they are bang opposite each other.
Well, what I'm going to show you may change your mind on that.
But they're
not
on
that
different scan lines.
Yeah, not that they're not bang opposite, but that they're pointing at the moon. I mean, that it's pointing directly at the sun. Because if it is, it goes through a part where it's not pointing any longer at the sun. That'll make sense as I go through. But anyway, like you said, Stan, if this circle in the middle represents a person, this makes total sense.
It does. That's how
going around you.
Work. Think of a sundial. Put a sundial there, and then it works, doesn't it?
Yes. So what I noticed was when the moon set, right about here, the moon set in the west, and it was pointing straight down. Oh, no, it was pointing this direction towards the sun. And I was like, well, wait a minute, but the sun set west. How could it be? And I looked on here, and this is before the spring equinox. The sun was actually north of west after it set in my location. I was like, how is that possible? It's not possible. Not when it's at, whatever it is, 27 degrees south of me.
But that's what's happening.
So
this is what's happening. What they're showing is what's happening, but it's not possible on a ball, is it?
right. So what I'm going to do is I've got a little tiny camera, and I'm putting it in a 5-gallon paint bucket. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the shape of the Earth. It doesn't have to curve up this way and curve down this way, because we're only one spot on the Earth ever. As long as it's round. I know this is a crappy drawing here. Let me make it larger. My drawing skills are notoriously childish.
It's like mine. It's all right. As long as you make your point, it doesn't matter, does it really?
Yeah, so I'm going to put a 5-gallon bucket. I've got everything now together with a stick through it, and I'm going to rotate it. Like the Earth is rotating, I'm going to have a sun south of the camera, and I'm just going to rotate it from sunrise to sunset. It's a wide angle camera, 140 degrees, so we'll be able to almost view it like we do through our eyes. And I'm just going to rotate it, and I'm going to record. It'll record on my iPhone what the path of the sun is in the sky. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it straight up and down and have a person on the Earth, which is the camera. And then I'm going to have the sun on this type of deal right here, rotating around the person or around the Earth, either way. And that's when I think we're going to get this arcing that we see. And they know this. Let me see if I can get this. What did I do with this picture?
This reminds me of Skydar. Z Proxy made a camera on a 360 thing that it span.
Yes.
And then he made it into a 360 image, basically. Like what you're trying to do with this. Same thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to show. I'm not positive yet because I haven't done it, but I think it's going to show that our model is perfect and their model stinks. Because you're not going to get that. To me, if we were on the Earth rotating, you're going to get a lateral line, not an arc. But look what they show us in plain sight. If you search for how do the seasons work, here's a person standing in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly how they work.
Yeah, and what is it really showing? It's showing a guy on a flat plane with a dome overhead.
A ball of stars. That's what it is. This is why I say to you, it's not a dome, it's a globe. Look, it's a globe of stars. This is why they trick us that we live on a globe, because at the bottom here, the stars are different to the top.
Yes, but they're showing us in plain sight.
Yeah.
You know, how it really works. What they should be showing in their model is the guy standing on top of it.
Yeah, with the stars spinning around.
With the, yeah. Well, and with the sun stationary. But see, they're showing the sun rotating. They're actually showing it. The sun is going around the guy on the Earth. So that's where that experiment's coming. I just wanted to show you that because that's coming up very soon. Now that I've got everything, I've got the camera, and it remotely will transmit the image to my phone, and I can record it. But I don't think there's any way that I'm going to get an arc when I'm.
You're going to get exactly what I've shown you tonight.
Yeah, exactly. This right here is going to produce a lateral line.
Yeah,
I'm pretty convinced.
You're going to see the ball of stars around us. That's how they've got you, mate, because they feed you half a truth. They tell you live on a globe, which you don't. And then you've got all the concave stuff, which it's not. You've got a ball of stars around us, a celestial sphere, they call it, around us. And as we rotate, it rotates.
Right.
That simple. And that's why now as well, because over in America, if you go to the same latitude as me and set up a camera, you're going to have the same sky as me, or it's going to be later. So it'd be 6 hours behind my sky. But you have the same sky as me, yeah? So
yes.
If I go north to south, you pick up rotation. But if I go north to, say, 10 degrees latitude, set up a camera there, and then if I go across east and set up a camera there at 10 degrees latitude, I'm going to have the same sky. So
absolutely.
I'm more inclined to say the pole is not a point, it is a line.
Interesting. And my theory is, and I have no idea if it's true or not, it's part of what I think there's two different axes of rotation, but I can't prove that yet. It's just a theory.
There is something like we were saying earlier, Rich, with the wobble in the sky. There's not a fixed sphere. You know, the stars are the fixed point, it seems, but the wandering stars, the sun and the moon, they do their own little dance in the sky.
Yeah, which they shouldn't, especially the sun.
Well, it does though. It all moves.
Yes, I can verify that it does.
It's funny how it all goes back and lines up, because all these sundials, these ancient old sundials, are still telling the time to this day.
Yeah,
to the minute. You know that big wheel on that wall where they've got wheels all the way around the wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're like to 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah, and that still works to this day. So that tells you if there is a wobble there, it wobbles back. It doesn't wobble off into chaos.
No, it's a cycle that just repeats over and over and over.
It's just part of the system, you know. It's all meant to be. That's what is. Whatever's happening is meant to be happening.
Exactly, and it's there if we were taught in school instead of the rubbish. If we learn perspective like they used to, like in Leonardo da Vinci is my hero, and I used to think how great he was. I mean, the different things he painted were so perfect with perspective, and the Last Supper he did. There are so many geometric perfections in it, and I used to think, what a genius. But then I found out that was taught to everybody. They just understood how perspective really worked, that you get compression and things at the bottom look like they disappear, but it's because of how we see. They knew all that, and they just took it. My understanding is they took it out of the schools in the 40s and 50s. But before that, people were actually taught that stuff. And that's why artists used to be much better, and you used to have a lot more artists. It's not that all of a sudden people are just busy with other stuff. It's just the artistry was better because they really understood how you saw. So they weren't really genius. They were just going by what they were taught. But they've taken that out, so we don't know anymore.
Yeah, today's age we're zombies. If you were looking at like the evolution chart, we're at zombie point now. Do you know what I mean? The general population,
yes, you're right, absolutely,
is literally, we're like moths attracted to these lights, and they're called phones. And all day you just go, phone.
Yeah. Well, it's like Astral said, they put us into the dark ages, and we're just now starting to come out of it.
Yeah, everyone's literally zombies that aren't even question. If you've been told that you're not living where you think you are, and you don't question that, you are literally dead. You have no thought, you know, what is the point?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
You may as well give up.
Well, let me show you this while I got you, because I want you to see this. I'm calling this the lunar jump. Let me go back before I do this. Let me show you why. Is this
over a certain amount of days?
This is within a matter of seconds.
See, there is rotation in the moon.
Well, I want you to see this little video here. This is of the last, I think it's the last lunar eclipse. Okay.
Yeah.
See this? Can you see this right here?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that thing. I never can. But let me hide this thing. Karen gave me a good tip on that last time.
I didn't know you could do that.
What's that?
Hide that. That's annoying. That thing.
Yeah, Karen told me that last time. What a help that is. Anyway, I have that arrow right on the center of this, and this is during the eclipse. Now let me play it. Do you see that jump?
Yeah.
You do it one more time. Now, I don't know. I wasn't taking the pictures. I don't know how in between this was, you know, one frame to the next. There it was again.
If you look at that, there is a jump to the eclipse as well at that point.
I see. But just notice that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there is rotation. I've noted it. You know, there is rotation in the face of the moon. But I've not.
Now I'm sorry.
Jumping like that.
Okay. Well, what happened was, let me see if I got this up. This right here. We took out 3 cameras, and on that instead of SunCalc, it was mooncalc.org, was showing a counterclockwise rotation over time and then back to clockwise. So we wanted to capture this. And you'll find out in a minute what we weren't expecting happened. But we took 2 equatorially mounted cameras. We had on the last Hangout, we had Crow XE. He's a globe believer, and we had Dave Marsh, who is a flat earther, but he said you're going to get rotation or perspective changes if you don't have an equatorial mount. Both of them agreed, and everybody since has agreed. If you have an equatorial mount, you're not going to get any rotation in the moon.
No.
It'll take it out. So what we did was we took a P1000, put it on an equatorial mount, a P900 and put it on an equatorial mount, and a B700 and put it on a standard mount. And there was no more than a foot or two difference between these 2 cameras. And this was a little bit further apart. It was about 3 feet away from these 2. So I was manually taking pictures about every 15 or 20 minutes with this B700. These were taking pictures every 10 seconds. And every 50 minutes, it rolled that up into a 7-minute video.
Yeah.
Which we have something now where it won't do that. Well, we can do that, but we can look at each individual frame. And you'll see why that's going to be important in a minute. So that's what we did. I won't go through that there. I'll come back to this other thing. Now, I'm sorry this one's blurry on the right. This is with the B700. This is not the equatorial mount. Okay. Do you see the Sea of Crises here just to the left of the red line, which is straight up and down in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you see it here? Hopefully it'll come through. It's a blurry picture.
Yep.
But look at the time difference, 7:10 and 7:29. But wait, we get it. We narrow it down even more. This is the one I was manually just going out there every now and then taking a picture. And with the naked eye, we could see that it had rotated counterclockwise. So I don't know why I have that twice. But anyway, this is with the P1000. This is 7:19 versus 7:26. So it's a 7-minute period of time. There's the Sea of Crises, and there's the Sea of Crises. 20-degree rotation. That's a huge amount of rotation in 7 minutes. But not only in 7 minutes, when you play the video back and do it as slow as you can possibly can.
Now you're saying this, I think I might have this. I might have actually witnessed this.
I bet you have. I bet everybody hasn't, just hasn't thought to look for it.
No, I've actually said before, it's gone backwards to where it was a minute ago.
Yes. Well, check this out. We think it happens in a 10-second period.
Well, I've never filmed it like, as it's happening, but I'm pretty sure there's some data that would say that it does happen. Because I think I've brought this to attention before, and I've gone, look, it's rotated, and it shouldn't have.
Well, I haven't loaded it up yet, but the guy I was with, Mike Ball, he actually did the eclipse that night. I think it's the same eclipse I just showed you. And he catches it doing it twice, both counterclockwise. This was the earlier one, so it lurched counterclockwise in what we believe to be a 10-second period of time.
See, at some point, it must change scan line as well. It must be creeping up or creeping down in the sky, and then as it's doing that is when I've noticed it when the moon's higher on the scan lines, it's more to the northern one. It's rotated a different way to what it is when it's to the southern one. So as it's going up, I'm wondering if it is rotating backwards, and that's what you're picking up here, or there's something going on there. But this was before the meridian crossing. And was that the 16th of February?
16th of February. It was 0019 UTC on the 17th.
See, that's what we do as well. We always work to UTC, because then if everyone across the Earth uses UTC, because UTC means now. The time is always now. It's not 1 hour in the future or wherever you are in the Earth. You can talk to each other and have a conversation.
Exactly.
Like, you're over there now, Mr. T, and what's the time there?
3:56 p.m.
Right, and it's 11 p.m. here.
Right.
but the time is now that we're talking, and that is UTC. So that's how everything on my channel is always on UTC. I forget daylight savings, I forget everything like that. I just stick to UTC, and if everyone does that, it makes it a lot easier for all this data analysis.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'll join you there as much as I can. I don't know if I can put my camera on UTC. Can you?
Yeah, you can. Mine's
can you? Okay.
UTC, yeah. But you can do it manually if you can't find the setting.
Okay. Well, I'm sure the guy that's with me, he'll probably be able to tell me.
But yeah, it does make a hell of a difference, because then we can compare sync times, me and you. You just pull up a time rather than trying to work out time zones. Right.
But all three cameras, equatorially mounted or not, showed this happening. All three. And the best I'm getting is that somebody bumped the tripod. Well, nobody hit all three tripods, and you know from filming the moon, if you bump the tripod, you're not going to get this kind of picture. You'll be like if the moon's in the picture at all.
Oh, yeah, you get a blur.
Yeah, a blur at best.
But all I would say is, I may have noticed this too, but it needs to be, you need to look at it and go, it's going to do it now. This needs to be, if this is happening, it'd be happening for a reason. It'd be either shifting up a scan line or down or something going on. So you'd be able to then predict when it's going to do something like this.
Right. But my thing is this. If this right here at 1919 is pointing directly at the sun, here's the shadow down here.
Are they the same locations or different locations?
Exact look. This is from the same camera. He just has a different zoom on it, unfortunately.
Right.
But these are literally 7 minutes apart. These pictures.
See, I think I've seen that as well.
Yeah, but see, I did a video first saying that the shadow rotates with the moon, and if it's always pointing at the sun, then that can't be right. And boy, I got hell. Yeah, but that I was leading up to this. I didn't think I was going to catch it within a 7-minute period. I thought it was going to take hours to see the rotation. But anyway, since the shadow rotates with it, if it's pointing directly at the sun here, okay, which is actually over here, how can it be 20 degrees off here? Did the sun suddenly jump 20 degrees?
Well,
no, see where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But for me, forget everything you've ever been told. Picture the sun and the moon goes around you, because that's what's going on. So when the sun's to your left and you put your arms out dead straight, 180 the other way is where, if the moon's in that location, it's a full moon. I can go out there, and if I look at the app and I know what percentage the moon is, I can tell you whereabouts in that sky it's going to be, just from the percent of the moon. And if I know what scan line it was on the night before, I can tell you where it will be, pretty much to a small window in the sky. So if that's what you just forget everything you were taught. The sun and the moon go around you, and what they're doing is going up and down on scan lines. So you're getting them going up and down, but when they're full moon, it's near enough they're facing each other. I don't know if it is exactly, but it appears. And when you see this, you see the terminator line at the bottom there.
Right.
That's because the sun is that's rotated, that moon, isn't it? It's not as it was. That's on an equatorial mount. Yeah. Yes. So the sun, that's been rotated. That image has been rotated anti-clockwise, basically, from what it would be to the observer. So the sun is round to the west of that image. And that's what I say, you can, once you know how this is all working, you can watch moon videos and see if people are actually faking what they're doing or not. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we weren't expecting this. That's why we weren't taking pictures the way we should have been.
I'm thinking I've seen that too, but I've only seen it once. And I've gone, well, that thing's rotated, man, since the last time I filmed it. And I've said about it, and it's just been like, I ain't got time to look at that. Let's carry on with what we were doing, you know?
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there is interested, we caught this 37 minutes and 30 seconds before the full moon, the time that they give for the full moon. By illumination, it was 90%. If that's the case, that happens at 4:03 a.m. Let me see. That would be 11:03 UTC on the 18th. So the 17th, it happens this. Let me see. No, it'd be the 18th at 12:12 your time, UTC. That is the exact time we caught this, roughly within, let's say, 7 minutes.
See, there'll be a pattern there, though. If that's happening, it'll be happening all the time, and it's just a case of going out there with the correct equipment to capture it. I reckon if you had one of them tracking cameras and just set it up and left it all night to track the moon, you would then see it, wouldn't you?
Well, both of them had the drive. It was tracking automatically.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what you need. You need the drive. You know, set it up. Just leave it all night, just forever. Just leave your camera outside.
Well, here's the thing. Of course, after the meridian crossing, the Sea of Crises rotated way over to here, like it does.
That's if the amounts you're not tracking.
Well, that's visually.
Yeah, if you're not tracking the moon with your equatorial. Right.
But the thing was, our equatorial mounts showed absolutely no rotation since it looked like this once we packed up after the meridian.
That's what you'll see, because it's like I said to you earlier, you got to imagine the moon is fixed with 2 pins either end, and it is traveling along them lines I was showing you earlier. So as it's going up in the sky, it appears that it's rotated upway, up, and then as it gets to the lunar point, it appears to rotate clockwise and more clockwise as it goes down to set.
Exactly.
It's actually not. It's just traveling around that track, but there is a rotation to the face because I've observed that you're picking it up.
Right, but the equatorial mounts take that out. But that, to me, was a good proof that we had good data from these pictures, that it wasn't just something that was not set up right or anything like that.
I would sort of go along with what you are saying, but like I said, there will be, if that is 100%, which it seems it could well be, it will be happening a lot, and it just needs to be.
We need more people to document it is what we need.
That's what we need. That's why Sandra's in the chat. I've seen her P900 cool pics. She's been chatting away all night. She runs outside with me. I message her. I go, got moon, sync, and then she'll get her tripod on her P900, rush outside, and we'll film the moon together. And we've been doing that for a while now. And Z Proxy, Cosmic Surfer, there's been Luke Marsh, he did it with us for a little while. There's been a few that have jumped on and jumped off, but need more doing it, because then the likelihood of catching this.
Right. Well, we're going to the Salton Sea on the 15th, 16th, and maybe I guess we'll be leaving the 17th. So we will probably be doing this exact same setup. It's a day earlier. If we don't catch it that day, we might have to go out the next day after we travel back, which I hope we don't, because we're going to be dead tired. But we're doing. We're going to try to do a 20-mile over the lake, over the sea, plus mirror test. I'm trying to get the mirrors to go both ways, north and south shore. And
see, if you set up your P900 the same as mine, when you're filming the moon where you are, I can be filming it here if it's visible to me on the same.
Yes.
And then I will think, that's quite a nice gap, and you'll see a lot of difference then. Then we get a difference here from the Isle of Wight to Blackpool, where Sandra is. There's a difference in rotation.
Believe it or not, the P900 and the P1000 to me showed a little bit different rotation, and they were sitting a foot apart from one another. So I don't know, but I mean, it wasn't drastic. It wasn't anything major, but we noticed it.
No, that's what I say. If everyone uses the same stuff, like if we all have P900s, then there shouldn't be too much variables.
Right. Well, the thing was before the meridian crossing, it didn't matter if you had an equatorial mount or not. It all caught it at the exact same time. All three showed no rotation until that jump.
Yeah, you don't need the mount to show the rotation.
Well, the opposite. What they were arguing was if you don't have an equatorial mount, that like if I only had that
Rubbish,
one,
'cause it's still going across the sky, isn't it? If hang on, if I show you what I've been doing with the P900 real quick.
Sure. Let me stop sharing here. Oh, but before I go, this is what we're going to be using also. We're going to know the exact air density. So there'll be no refraction BS argument. So how do I get back?
There is something to do when the moon rises and sets. It does appear to be a bit larger through what we're looking through. You know, the sky that we're looking at it through. It appears to grow rather than shrink like people claim. Have you witnessed that?
That it appears to grow when it gets near the horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Dave Marsh has actually measured the pixels, and he said it is actually smaller at the horizon, even though it looks giant.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is what we do.
How does that work then?
What's that?
So the great big moon I'm seeing on my horizon is actually smaller than...
According to Dave, when he measured it up, he said it looked huge, but when he measured the pixels, they were smaller.
Well, this is how we do it, Mr. T. We just take the camera out with a standard tripod, flat level tripod. Yeah. Set it up. We always set it at 83 times zoom. And then we timestamp it in this particular way. And then there's an app as well. Oh, it's not showing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
No, it's not showing for some reason. But then...
You're not sharing, Sam.
No? Share
No.
me.
Sharing.
But this is what we do. So my P900 is on its tripod. It's just level. It's always level with the horizon.
Sorry, Stan, are you showing us something? Because we can't see it.
Yeah? Can't you see? Oh, hang on. I don't think I've shared it. I've just got it up. It's getting late. Here we go. Right.
There we go.
So this is what I do. I set my P900 up on its tripod. And then all I do is let it do its thing. I let the moon travel across the screen from one side to the other. So you don't actually need an equatorial mount because you can...
So you're facing south then?
In this one, yeah, this is just a level because it's going across the screen. So it's no longer rising or setting, it's at my lunar noon. But if you note, what's this one again, Mr. T?
Sea of Crises.
Sea of Crises. You'll note when it's like this going across, this does rotate depending on what scan line it's on. There is a rotation there in the moon.
Right.
I've picked it up. But yeah, if you go down, let's go down here and I'll find one that's a rising or a setting. Here we go. This must be a setting, I think.
Now, how often are you taking pictures?
This is video. No, this is rising.
Oh, it's just, okay.
So this is rising moon. So you don't need the equatorial mount because what you can do later is rotate this video so the moon goes straight across the screen. And then that tells you, you know, you get the same as an equatorial mount. You're just doing it later. Right. But you can do the same thing from a level tripod as what you can an equatorial. But it shows the same thing. That's why I say you got to imagine there's a point here in the moon and there's a point up here on the moon. And all this is doing is getting dragged up like a roller coaster train. You know, it's going up the hill. And then when it gets to the top, it rotates round because it's going to go down the track. So it rotates around again because it's fixed on the 2 points. And this is a car, you know. If you imagine it like that, that's why. But then, like you say, there is a slight rotation there to be observed. But
have you ever considered how much rotation we should see at 235 or 250,000 miles?
You shouldn't see the moon. Is that another trick question? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's another one of them. How long does it take for the sun to go around the Earth? Questions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't even see it that far because your eyes, you know, they're tiny.
Yeah, it's the size of Russia. So they say.
But you wouldn't see, with a P900 zoomed in 83 times, would you take a little dot and make it massive? No. You wouldn't, would you?
No.
It would pretty much be like, I've zoomed in, is that it? Yeah. Well, I don't know then. We need a bigger telescope. That's what you'd think. You know, I've got hours of this. I've got over 400 moon clips like this now. Well, 489 moon clips like this.
Wow.
And if you look through, look, sync with Cosmic Surfer, sync with Z Proxy, sync, you know, syncs. There's loads of sync shots, syncs with Sandra. So if you click on this, you go on my channel, you go onto this playlist, you get this up, you drag up that timestamp there, you put that in the top, and it'll show you the sync, Sandra sync with my sync, and you'll see there's a difference in rotation between just mine and hers.
Okay.
But if you download the app of C Proxy's channel, you get this as well, which is the AE, or you can change it. So this is what we're shown, you know, but it's just doesn't work, does it?
To me, with that top one, you wouldn't get any rotation at all. It would just
if you look, this is on a lower scan line and the sun's on a higher one. So you can work out what scan line it's on from this app. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that you can do just with your P900. You can do all of this, and that shows you what, you know, that shows you what we're been talking about tonight, just using your P900. But if you look at the moon, right? Just wait for it to load, just because I've got a lot of stuff open.
So that's a public playlist you have there?
Yeah. Right. So if we check out the moon here, look, you notice how it's almost filled that screen, top to bottom. But it does that all day long. It's that same size. So if it was a matter of perspective, when it was rising on the horizon, the moon at this zoom would be smaller, but it's not. If you look at all of these clips, look, same size, same. Well, give or take, you know, it does get bigger and smaller, and so does the sun. I've been doing this with the sun as well. Look. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one here, it's quite a big sun. Yet this one here, it's quite a small sun. And yet they're only, what was that? 20 days apart, that is.
Wow.
And it's gone from, you get this up, look, doesn't go, you know, there's quite a big gap here, and there's a gap there to
almost nothing.
Almost nothing, because I'll keep it. That's what I say to you, is the thing. If you keep everything the same, this is filmed the same as what I film the moon. So I always keep it all the same zoom, same setting, same everything. That's even on moon mode, the same as what I shoot the moon, same photo, same everything. So I'll never. So I can then compare moon to sun, or sun to sun, or whatever I want to compare, it's all set UTC. It's all set exactly the same.
Now, when you have it on moon mode, do you have to adjust the settings from when you pick the moon up during the daylight and then when it gets dark? You have to change the light settings?
No, I don't change anything.
Okay.
It's not as clear, admittedly, for the day if I show you that on mine, because I don't want to change anything. I don't, you know, I'd rather just see the size of it than the face of it. So if you look, but this is early morning, 8:30 in UTC, so that's my local time, UTC. You know, you can just make it out in the sky. Most people don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
You say to them, look, there's the moon. What? Morning. Yeah, but there's the moon.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people don't know that. I can't tell you how many people have written on my channel. Yeah, they must be lying because we see the moon at I never noticed before. We see the moon at during the day sometimes. It's like, wow.
Well, some people say you can't see the moon under certain percent, but we've seen it down to 5%, 4%. I think Z Proxy's winning with the lowest percentage at the minute. I think I've got 6 or 7. I've got some eclipse as well. There's some eclipse footage on it. Here it is. See, so if you were filming the eclipse, there's the strong possibility that there might be something to match there out of mine.
Yeah, if you look in the last eclipse, if you capture the Sea of Crises before the eclipse started and compare it to mid-eclipse and then end of the eclipse, you're going to see 2 counterclockwise lurches, jumps. I would imagine.
Well, there's the Sea of Crises.
Right. It's
But
funny.
yeah.
Over here, it was straight up and down when it was going on.
That's what I mean, though. You have to watch this all back because it just takes so much time, doesn't it, to just analyze even your own stuff. But this is as low as I've caught it. 6.4. This was. And this was just after the sun had set.
Okay.
Because the sun's down over here, you know. This is waxing. Yeah, 6.4. It's hard to even see it. You know, you have to know where it's going to be. You're like, it's going to come, it's going to be there. When I can see it, it will be there. If I can see it. And it is. It's like, yes, go and grab the camera. Brilliant. You know, you always get a little buzz out of doing all this.
Yeah.
But it does. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. At the minute, this and like messing around with bloody RC cars and stuff like that and looking at free energy devices and whatnot. Like the moon is about the only thing that really interests me at the minute.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thing too right now is the moon.
Someone wants to talk about the moon, I could talk to them all day about the moon. You know?
Yeah, I'm going to be putting together a documentary on it. There's
I've noticed
so many things just aren't right.
I've noticed that, like Robert, he likes the moon and the sun, but I think the sun's his favourite. I think Joe Hills is the moon, yours is the moon, Rich is the moon. Not you don't like the sun, you just prefer the moon.
It's because we're lunatics. We must be to keep doing what we're doing. I've been out there, you know, it's starting to like get icy, cold.
Oh yeah, those pictures
horrible.
I showed you, we were freezing.
Yeah, you're out there going, why am I stood here filming this thing? But it needs to be done and no one else is doing it, so I will continue, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, but why? It's just curiosity, I suppose, like a cat. But yeah, no, there's a lot of, like I say, it's 400 videos there you can look at.
All right. I'll probably be doing that.
Rich is looking at that, wishes that was on his channel because he's got to learn to use that.
Well, I'll tell you, Rich, post save the playlist to your channel so people actually see it, you know.
I don't even know how to do that.
You go to the playlist and then just save playlist. I've got some of Z Proxy saved on my channel.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I can go to, and Sandra's.
You put in Sun and Moon Stan Smith, you'll see him over and over again with this work.
If you just type in Stan Smith Moon or 360 or time lapse, because I do time lapse.
You have to put Stan Smith Flat Earth, because there's a lot of Stan Smiths, and then he'll come up.
Okay.
But yeah, this is my channel. Every day I do a couple of time lapses, front and rear. Like that's facing 120 east, and then this one's facing 300. So it's just past west.
I'd be so aggravated there with all the clouds.
That's terrible. It is horrendous. You should see the state of some of this that we get.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning to that, mate. It's like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, great. I'm so glad I bought a P900 today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
that looks cold.
Do you know what, though?
It's not so much cold. It's just the crap. It's been warmer. It's been 14 degrees.
Because I've realised, like, the Big Dipper's very stretched in Arizona, where Rich is. People there before told us when we were doing all our compass readings before on Sun and Moon. And then I went to my friend in Denmark, and I had to sort of go down her garden and over there, and there was the Big Dipper. But the Big Dipper goes around my house. So we must be quite a lot more north. And I just think that
we are. That's what I've shown you tonight. We are more north.
Everything's so close in our skies for us because we're more north. This is why they're making sure it's cloudy, I'm sure, because people like Stan, he'd work it out much quicker if he didn't have the cloud every day.
Look at that, though. Look at the sun beating upwards. It's not beating down on the clouds, is it? It's beating up. Look at it. All red under it, underlit, like uplighted. You don't get uplighting unless you've got uplights. And then here it comes. Look at the clouds all going different ways there, I'll take a look around. This is all my own stuff. Well, not all of it, but that sort of footage is the drone and that.
Yeah. Looks beautiful there, though.
Well, you got to see all around you on the island. All my life, I've thought to myself, where's the curve there? Always gone along with it because I never knew people actually questioned the shape of the earth. I just thought that was the shape of the earth. It's a globe. You're taught it. That's the shape of it, righto. But how does that work? It just does. Stop asking questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I got at school.
What are you, stupid?
Yeah. It just works, man. You're living on a ball. You're a monkey. Get back to work,
Yeah.
When actually, it's not.
Pay your taxes, get your licenses. Get your permission to have a property.
Yeah. You shouldn't be paying to live in. We're the only species that has to pay to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's the sense in that?
And also, like you said, there's hardly anybody doing what you're doing, and it's what there should be more people doing it.
Oh yeah, there should be more people going out and observing these things, because no one's gonna how many people have done this? No one. Who's come out and said about this? No one. Not really, People are getting close, but they're not there yet, So that's why I thought, right, I just have to just say it now. Look at it. Look what you are seeing. It is going
you've got a bit frustrated about things, haven't you, Stan? Because it's a bit like
just like sitting on the bench watching the whole time. It's like, now I'm just going to pull my socks up and dive back in.
You've got more places, though, haven't you, now to take? When you do your 360, you've got more.
Well, we've got a few more that we've added, but nothing. It's not like, oh, we've got so much now we can't deal with what we're dealing with. But if you look at this one, that was the Alaska one again. You know, look at it down to the horizon. There's south. Hang on, let me think. Now that's north. That's south where we're facing. There's east. Is that east? I'm getting all confused. Yeah, that's east. There's north. So you're looking northeast. There's Polaris there. So there's your sun rising there. You know? The more you go north, the higher up out of the horizon the lines come. You just rotate them. Should be common knowledge, this. It always used to be. Otherwise people wouldn't have made sundials. They wouldn't have made clocks. You wouldn't have all these ancient drawings of the sky and stuff. People wouldn't, people used to know where they lived. No, they don't.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't have a clue, do they? And then they argue the point of something they have no clue over.
Yes. And knowledge is power. And if you don't have the knowledge, that's why you have to have a government that has the power.
That's why I just laugh at most people when they're trying to tell me how it is. It's like, no, mate. That ain't how it is. And then, yeah, like you get the shills, like the ones we've all spoken to in chat. And they're there chatting away, and then you come in and then you say something that they have no answer for apart from looking stupid. Then they just leave you alone. They're like, oh, I've got to go now. Because they can't argue the truth. Once you know the truth, that's it. It's game over, isn't it?
I wish they left me alone. Once I get trolls, they don't want to go away. I have to block them.
Yeah, but you can show them all of this. Say to them, well, go on then. How'd you, just ask them, how'd you travel the earth using the stars? They're like, what? Use your phone. It's like, no, you don't. Chuck your phone in the water, right? It doesn't work now. How are you getting around? You're in a boat out at sea. You've just dropped your phone over the side. Now you've had it, haven't you? Whereas if you know how the sky works, you're like, well, actually, we're here. So if we keep going that way, we're going east or west, or we're going wherever we're going to go. And you'd know where you're going to go, rather than just being completely clueless. So yeah, it's about time. This is like 2 years old now, this video, I think.
Yeah.
Look, 2017. Yeah, 2017. So yeah, it's almost 2 years old, that video. And yet it's had 1,800 views.
I've watched it loads of times.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think people watch it more for the music because it's ISA, isn't it? Welcome to the show. So it's just a catchy video. So I've done this a bit of mysterious, bit mysterious, bit of mystique about it. Because it was just welcome to the show. I didn't explain nothing. It's just like, take a look. It's all here to be seen. You just got to look at it. There's the sun coming up. It's lighting up the bottom of the clouds. Yep. It is all in this video. There's the moon. Zooming in on it. How do you zoom in on something that far away? You can't. Look around. It's all flat. There's the moon. There's your path to the moon. Didn't explain nothing. I just made a video and said, just put it out there. Welcome to the show. But yeah, it's all up on my channel. Everyone's welcome to use it, Just good use for good use. I don't mind.
That's awesome.
Yes, we followed you for a while, haven't we, Stan?
It's been a while. It's been a trip, hasn't it?
Rich, did you say everything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, and I was just about to tell you I got to run because I'm running out of daylight for Charlie.
Yeah, I've got to shoot in a minute as well.
Well, should we say goodbye on air, and then we can just say goodbye to each other off air. I mean, we've been on for 2.5 hours. It's been amazing. I hope everybody's enjoyed. And obviously, Rich has got experiments, and Stan's, well, Rich is constantly in an experiment now, and so is Stan.
Good way to put it.
I think we're all in the experiment. It's called life.
Yeah.
And it's just, can you all get together and figure this out?
I'm sure we're part of an experiment.
I think it's a battle of your consciousness, you know. Are you capable of actually dealing with your beliefs and finding the truth?
Well, I'm sitting on a hangout with two men who want the truth. So, yeah, thank you so much for everything that you both do, you, Rich and Stan. Hope everybody's enjoyed it in the chat room. A really amazing evening. We're back tomorrow, so see everybody tomorrow. And to Rich and Stan, amazing men.
Fantastic, Stan. I really